Is this thing the best value in bourbon? I got a lot of people telling me it is. Let's find out today. How are y'all doing today? My name's Chris. Welcome back to Bourbon Sane. We got another expression coming out of Jim Beam today, and this one is on their Knob Creek line. This is their 12-year. So let's remember, Knob Creek, their base expression is that 9-year, 100-proof bottle. Actually got one right here. This thing right here. Really good. One of the best value bottles out there, honestly. 100-proof, 9-year age statement, and still just over $30 usually in most markets. Everyone's been telling me I got to upgrade to the 12-year. This is actually a difficult bottle for me to find. I had to do a little bit of searching to find this bottle. Had it now for a few months, and I overpaid for it. MSRP on this is really like $60. Honestly, $50 in some markets. I've heard people say they can get it for all day. I paid closer to $100 for this, just because I never see it. But a lot of people are saying it's even pushing and worth that kind of money. So I'm excited to find out today. But this is their 12-year, same as the 9-year, where there we go. These wax tops, man, every time. I've had one pour out of these. I didn't do that the first time, but same as the 9-year, where it's got 100 proof on it. Mash bill on this is the normal Knob Creek mash, which is 77% corn, 13% rye, and whatever the difference, 10% malted barley. So basic Knob Creek mash bill. They actually just released a blender's edition of this as well. From what I've been told, I actually just talked to someone today about it. They said it's kind of a mesh between the 9 and the 12-year. Haven't seen it yet here in Michigan, so I'm keeping my eye out for it. That'll be the next one I try, because I am a big Jim Beam Knob Creek fan. So, looking at the color on this, you do get a little bit more of that depth coming through. Stay tuned for the end of this review, because I'm going to grab my 9-year. We're going to do it side by side, and we're going to see how that compares, just to see. But a little bit darker color. I think the time that barrel really did show up, and it's showing up in the glass here. Nice legs, too. So, no disappointment. Yeah, let's go into nose on this. Ooh, okay. Lots of sweetness, man. This is very, very sweet on the nose. Super, super rich. Almost like a Splenda. Like I describe a Splenda sweetness a lot of times on Buffalo Trace products. This almost is giving me like Smartie candy vibes. One of my favorite. I love hard candy versus like chocolate, that kind of stuff. So Smarties candies are right in my wheelhouse. Lots of oak and depth on this too. At 100 proof, you really don't know. Typically I'll shoot higher than that when, just for me in general, but a really nice balance of that. Vanilla sweetness, caramel sweetness, definite bourbon baking spice coming through. And then the oak, it's got that oak richness, which is almost that sweet oak that comes through. Not a huge amount of kind of that classic Knob Creek nuttiness that I'll tend to get, that peanut note. But I will say that peanut note that I typically get on Knob Creek, at Jim Beam in general, it does mellow out the older the expressions get, so that kind of makes sense as well. So, great nose to start. Let's go into palate, see how it holds up. Wow. Very nice. Very nice on initial taste. I've had one pour out of this. Actually, my first bottle of the 12 I've had, though, I think. And it's very good. I mean, it's got a very nice balance, as mentioned, of that sweetness, that oak. And it's got a really nice mouthfeel and finish. 100 proof, you're not sure if you're going to get that. The age definitely helps. There's no oak bitterness, which you worry about on age expressions, Now, keep in mind, it's not hyper-aged. It's not over-aged, but it still can happen where it'll turn to bitter oak. Super easy sipper, man. I mean, that drink's probably below 100 proof, honestly. But the mouthfeel, finish, viscosity you get is really, really nice. It kind of gives me, vibes of some of the older Knob Creek picks you'll get back in the day. The higher aged picks, the 10 to even 13, 14-year picks. Obviously, the proof isn't there to what those single barrel reserves were on that. But still, that mouthfeel, that finish, a little more muted than what you'll get on those older picks, and not as much of the leather tobacco. I think that tends to come through more on aged and proofed expressions for me, in the Knob Creek line at least. So let's go one more sip here. There is that slight leather note there, though. You know, maybe because I just mentioned it and I'm talking about it, but it's there a little bit on kind of the mid to back palate. The oak, the leather, and a little bit of tobacco note does come through. It is really, really good. This is really, really solid. I wish this was more available here. As mentioned, I haven't seen many of them, and if I have, they're more than they should be priced. So, but when I first talked about this bottle, I was like, man, this is one that if you can truly get it for like $50, like come on, a 12-year age-stated bottle for $50, unheard of these days. Let me grab my 9 real quick. I want to do it side by side just to see if there's a difference. All right, got the 9 here. We're just going to give it a quick side by side just to see, how it is. Oh yeah. I mean, the 9 is still very solid, very nice nose, but it's got more graininess coming through. Exact same proof, but you can tell which one's just more well-rounded. Those kind of rough edges that are in the 9 are kind of just mellowed off on the nose. Definitely a lot more of a nutty note also, as mentioned on the 9. Even that 3-year age difference, like you can tell a difference in the oak that's coming through. It's just a sweeter oak. Like it just smells much sweeter even than the 9 does. So let's try the 9 on the palate. Boy, that's really good too, though. I'll tell you what. I mean, it's just one of the best budget bourbons out there. It really is. Still that $30-ish. I mean, it's got that slight astringency, I'll say, which I usually don't typically find unless it's 7 years or under. But yeah, compared to the 12, I mean, it's not on that level. It's not. Both extremely solid, but for the price difference, I'm still probably, if I can actually get it for 50 versus 35 or almost 40 in a lot of my area here for the regular 9, I'm going to be upgrading to this 12. I know other parts of the country, this is everywhere, and they can find it everywhere. Not the case here, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to be seeking out another one of these bottles. Maybe not at $100 or around $100, but around 60, 70, it's definitely a pickup. All right, well, I appreciate you guys watching this review today. Thank you so much for being here. Let me know if you guys had the 12-year. I want to know how your thoughts on it compared to the 9, compared to other things in the Knob Creek line in general, And those of you that have had the Blenders Edition, go ahead and spoil it for me. I want to hear what your thoughts are on that. Do you think it's worth the money they're charging for that thing? Worth a pickup, or just kind of go with your go-tos, the 9 and the 12 if you can get them. I want to hear from you too. So thank you guys so much for watching today. I hope you guys had a great Easter, and I hope you guys have a great week upcoming. Stay insane, everyone.